What's up everybody, Kinetic here, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I want to talk about card sleeves, the importance of sleeving your cards, double sleeving, different brands out there, different price ranges, and why you just might want to ignore your favorite streamers, your favorite pro gamer, your best friend's recommendation as far as what card sleeves to get. In front of me I've got a bunch of different cards, some of them sleeved, some not sleeved. These are cards that I recently bought from a store here in Japan, and they already came pre-sleeved. I also have some sleeves over here on some very small Lord of Vermilion cards, and in front of me these are Planeswalker cards that I double sleeved myself. I'm going to be talking about what is double sleeving and why you would want to do that. But here we go. So we've got all of these card sleeves in front of me now. These are different brands from different countries, different prices, different materials that they're made out of and stuff like that. So I kind of want to try and, in a nice organized fashion, if I can, go over these different card sleeves and give you some observations. This video isn't meant to endorse or condemn any particular brands. It's just, again, meant to talk about the materials, the quality, the price, and stuff like that. There are so many other brands out there, of course, than what's in front of me. So you're really gonna have to just kind of take what I say and then look at the brands that you see in your stores or that you see online and go from there. So the first thing that I want to talk about is card sleeves like this. I know that these are probably the most eye-catching card sleeves out there. These are the ones that probably, especially for newer TCG players, these are the ones that they're going to covet the most. Like the really fancy art that is selling these card sleeves is very, very hard to resist. And I think a lot of players would want to go with something like this over just something like this that is just plain clear plastic, because this looks cooler, this looks more pro, or, you know, this is what I saw that pro dude in the Magic the Gathering tournament using, or something like that. Let me put it this way, it kind of reminds me of sort of like the Razer gaming accessory craze, how it seemed like everybody had to have Razer mice, they had to have Razer keyboards and stuff like that, when really it's completely like not necessary to have such extreme products that are going to cost you so much more than alternatives that will do just as good of a job depending on the kind of gaming and what you're really using them for. So for example, here we've got these Ultra Pro deck protectors, and they're great. I'm not gonna lie. Here in Japan, they sell for 324 yen, which is probably just under $3 in American money, which is a good price. It's not great, but it's a pretty good price for 50 sleeves. I will buy them, but I'm not going to buy just this for storing my cards. It's completely unnecessary, and if you don't believe me, just take a look at these cards over here that came pre-sleeved at the game store. These are the sleeves that the local game stores use, right? The ones here in Japan, probably the exact same ones that are in your country, in your state, in your city. They're probably using these same exact plastic card sleeves, and these are rock bottom quality and dirt freaking cheap. And look at what they're putting inside. They're putting the cards that they are selling, they trust these rock bottom quality sleeves for their $10 cards, $20, $50, their $100 cards, because they know that this is just fine. For the purposes of storing and protecting your cards, right? Not necessarily for actual gaming, right? Like if you're going to your Friday Night Magic or whatever, yeah, you could do better than this, right? For a couple of your decks. But if you're just storing your cards, if you're just trying to protect your cards, there is nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong with the cheapest ones out there. Now, they're gonna try and pull some crap on you. Like for example, on the Ultra Pro sleeves here, they like to say acid free, no PVC, highest clarity. Okay, yeah, whatever. If these were so important as far as keeping up the quality and the safety of your cards intact, then that is what the card stores would be using to protect their cards and to keep them in good condition. But they don't. They just use, like I said, dirt cheap freaking sleeves because they know that there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now take a look at this. I got these card sleeves here from the dollar store in Japan. And you probably have a dollar store in your town and they may or may not be selling card sleeves like this, and there is nothing wrong with storing your cards inside of sleeves like these. Let's go ahead and we'll open up this pack. So again, cost me $1 for 100 of these sleeves. Now these are the oversized ones up in the L and the S packages that you just saw. Maybe you even saw the sizes already. I'm looking for the M sizes, but I have the feeling that the reason why I can't find the M sizes is because all the Japanese guys are buying them up as soon as they're in stock at the dollar store, or 100 shop, as they say here in Japan. So I'm looking for them, but they're great. They're really sturdy. They're not easy to like tear apart or anything like that. They're perfectly fine. But let's just go ahead and we'll pop open this pack of Ultra Pro 50 sleeves for 324, or like I said, about $3. So inside of here, go, got that. All right, so I got one of these Ultra Pro sleeves, and you'll see a lot of the Pro Tour tournament players and stuff like that. They're going to be using these. These come in all sorts of different colors: pink, purple, orange, red, black, white, yellow, every color under the rainbow. Right? You will see these guys, and so I think a lot of people look at that and go, "Oh, if that's what he's using, then that's what I should use." Nah, there are alternatives out there. We have these dollar store sleeves, and let me just give you some of my observations as far as how they look and how they feel. As far as the texture goes, if we go to the normal plastic side here, and if I just rub my thumb up against that, yes, I can definitely tell that there is a difference. There are kind of like these weird ripples, and in fact you can see it in the camera from, I guess, the machine processing out these sleeves, which, you know, it kind of feels weird. But aside from that, I can also feel that my thumb is kind of like sticking and dragging a little bit more on this plastic compared to this plastic here, which feels significantly smoother. But aside from that, the real selling point, I think, for these isn't the acid-free and no PVC BS, but the texture on the other side. I know you guys can't feel it, but let me try and describe it to you. Compared to this side here, this side feels coarse in a way, almost a little bit, kind of like what the lightest sandpaper might actually feel like. Now, why is that? Why would they make two different textures for these card sleeves on one side and the other? The reason is because if it's the same plastic on both sides, what will happen is they'll kind of drag a little bit more with each other. A little bit of friction, a little bit of stickage, right? But against this kind of coarse texture here just slides right off. And so as the players are shuffling the cards and these sleeved decks together with these sleeves, it makes for a really smooth shuffling experience. That's it. That's right. They only buy these and they only mark these up in price for how easy it is to shuffle them. But let me tell you, there is nothing wrong with other sleeves out there, and it is not that big of a deal to try and shuffle, for example, these official Magic the Gathering card sleeves. Now, when I bought these online, and I think they were about $5 or something like that for a pack of 100. And I think that's a good price. Compared to about $3 for 50, it's exceptionally good when you look at it like that. Because if you break it down to a 50 pack, then that's only about, what, $250? Well, then that's going to bring me into the same range as these other alternatives that I find to be just as good, the KMC and these card accessory collection sleeves are really good, and they're for only about $2. So yeah, for a little bit more, as long as you're not paying much more than that, much more than $5 or $6 for 100 of these Magic the Gathering pictured card sleeves, then it's all right. But if you're paying like $7, $8, $10, $12, I've even seen these on sale for, then you are getting ripped off. Now, maybe some of you want to defend your purchase because maybe you paid $10 for a pack of 50 sleeves like this, or the deck protector with the fancy coating on the other side or whatever. If you're gonna, talk yourself into it having been a good purchase, then that's totally fine. If you're happy, I'm happy. I don't really care. It's your money. I'm just saying, for the price that you paid for these kinds of card sleeves, like, again, these could be anywhere from $8 to $10. I'll buy these all day long here for a fraction of the price, at less than $2 for a pack of 50. And then you know what else I can afford? More booster packs. That's what I can get for the price of a fancy card sleeve pack like this. You could be buying just some regular, perfectly fine, for storage and for playing card sleeves like this, and have money left over to go ahead and buy booster packs like this, from example, from Magic the Gathering. And then the cards inside, well, they're worth money too. Unlike these aftermarket, these aren't worth anything after you've used them. But you could find maybe a $20, $30, $50 card inside of a booster pack that you bought instead of some super expensive card sleeves. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to open up these Hobby Base sleeves. They come loose. They don't even have like a little plastic little band around them. That's fine too. All right, so now I'm going to compare these to the dollar store. Where the hell is it? The dollar store. Here it is. The dollar store card sleeve. It feels very similar, but it doesn't have the stupid ripples, which is a huge plus, I think. I don't need it ribbed for her pleasure. These are really, really good quality. I can tell that just by feeling them, and they don't have like this weird like manufacturing ribbed feeling to them. Now let's compare that to, say, the Ultra Pros here. It feels exactly the same. It really, really does. This kind of brings me to a point that I wanted to talk about earlier, and that's the importance of why we're doing this in the first place. Why are we putting card sleeves on our cards? We're doing it to protect our cards, right? You can have spill accidents on the table during a game. You could have your cat come run over. You could drop it on the ground, and maybe somebody accidentally steps on it or something like that. There's all sorts of things that can happen to your cards, to put dust on them, to put dirt, oil, water, humidity, just all sorts of things can come into your contact when they're unsleeved, and that's why we want to sleeve them, particularly with foil cards. The importance of sleeving foiled cards is paramount, because what will most certainly happen, especially if it's like a Magic the Gathering card, is over time, as the card sits out and humidity gets to it and stuff like that, it's going to begin to curl, and it may curl to extreme degrees and make it really difficult for it to fit into the rest of your non-foil deck. So that's the importance, right, bringing that up, of protecting your sleeves. But you know what? It's important to protecting your cards, but it's important to protect your sleeves as well. I mean, I have this habit of, regardless of whether my cards are sleeved or not, my hands are clean. I'm not sitting there eating potatoes, chowing down on pizza and popcorn and stuff like that while I'm playing a game. If you care about your cards, then you should probably care about your sleeves, especially if you're paying $5 to $10 for a pack of them. Keep your hands clean, and you won't need these special sleeves. If anything, that might be the reason why your sleeved cards are sticking together, which I have no problem with, even with these kinds of plastic sleeves, is maybe you've got your hands dirty from eating, French fries from McDonald's or something like that. You get that onto your card sleeves, and of course they're gonna stick together. So anyway, that's the end of that rant. But I think you guys get the point. As far as you know, different brands out there and different prices go, you're more than fine, I think, with most of the brands out there that are selling their card packs for about $2 to $3 or something like that. If you want to have a really nice set for a deck or two, then yeah, go for it. By all means, buy yourself one of these special packs. Actually, you're going to need two, probably, because they only come in packs of 50. And if you really want like really super cute characters on the back of your cards, you know, while they're sleeved, then yeah, sure, go for it and buy sleeves like that. Just be careful of what you pay for these card sleeves, because it's just not worth it, in my opinion. Again, if you're paying any more than say $5 for a pack of 100 sleeves, you're really ripping yourself off when you could be affording other things. All right, moving on now. So the next thing that I want to talk about, pretty much actually the final thing that I think I want to talk about here, is I want to talk about double sleeving. Now, if you thought that sleeving your cards was kind of ridiculous and that your cards would be just fine without sleeves, well, what about your really special cards? What about your really valuable cards? For example, you know, some of those decks out there that the pros are using, they've got like $500 or more worth of cards in there. If you think they're not double sleeving your cards, then you're crazy. Or if they really aren't double sleeving their cards, well, then they're freaking crazy. Because, I mean, talk about keeping the value and keeping the condition of your cards intact over time, especially through play. Double sleeving is mandatory, I would say. If you're dealing with cards that have a significant value. For example, I just pulled this out of the Return to Ravnica booster packs that I showed off recently, the Hallowed Fountain. Now, as a normal version for this card, this is about $10 or something like that. But I found the foil version, and checking the price, it's actually, as a foil, about $30 for this single card. And because, again, it's a foil card, it is prone to curling if it is sitting out in the open, unsleeved or something like that. So that is why, especially for cards like these, I'm going to make sure that I double sleeve them. Now, how do you do that? Well, you're going to want to start by getting perfect size card sleeves. Now, KMC is not the only ones out there that sell perfect card sleeves on the market, but they are one example of a company that sells perfect size sleeves. So what you do is you go ahead and you take your perfect size sleeve and you slide it over your card from the top over your card like this, right? And as you can see, it really is pretty much a perfect fit. And then you take your standard size sleeve, and then just like normal, you put this in from the top, right? And then slowly slide it down until you get to the bottom. And now what you have is a perfectly double sleeved card that is definitely going to keep humidity, hell, it's going to pretty much keep air out, dust, water. I could probably drop this in the shower, you know, for a few seconds and unsleeve it, and the card will probably be perfectly fine. That's how good, if you've got the right perfect size and the right standard size, that's how good the seal can be for a double sleeved card. Alright guys, I think I've ranted on long enough about card sleeves. I think that you guys get the point, and that there are a lot of options out there. There really are. And again, this wasn't meant to endorse or condone any brands, just to bring your awareness as far as what the quality can be like, what the prices can be like, and stuff like that. And you got to think about, you know, what are you really doing with your cards with these sleeves? If you're just storing them, just trying to protect them, there's nothing wrong with going to like a dollar store and picking up like 100 of the cheapest, you know, card sleeves that you can find at a dollar store or wherever. If you don't want to go super cheap, then there's still other great alternatives out there for around $2 or something like that. You can get a pack of 50. You may even be able to get a pack of 100 or something like that of some really good card sleeves out there. You don't necessarily need these kinds of sleeves for every single card in your collection. If you want to get these, if you want to splurge, for a deck or two, there's nothing wrong with that. Just don't overdo it. What you spend on really fancy card sleeves, you could be spending instead on more boosters for your favorite card game, or for for some singles, some really expensive singles that maybe you're dying to have for your deck to make the ultimate badass open a can of whoop ass at a tournament deck. That's where that money could be coming from if you just save your money and maybe get some of some regular card sleeves instead. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. Click the like button to support TCG videos here on the channel, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Thanks again for watching. This is Kinetic, and I'll see you next time.